Welcome back to Destination Playdate. I am your host, Attack Slug, and this is Spirit Trail, out now on catalog for a price of $5. As always, full disclosure, they sent me a copy, link down in the description. It is a match 3 puzzle game with a Japanese folklore theme. Let's hop in and show you just how that works. So, I've made it up to stage number 7. At this point, we're going to roll it back a little bit to stage 1 to kind of not stress out over the actual difficulty, as it does indeed ramp up as you progress through these stages. So, stage 1 is the Kappa, and we have a number of symbols on the board. We have a team of 3, so each of these symbols correlates to either our 3 team members on the bottom, or the black symbol is the opponent. And so, your goal is to not only match your own symbols, but avoid matching the symbols of your enemy, of this yōkai, if you will. And so, for example, should I match these 3 lily pads, right? The bottom row, anytime there are the yōkai symbol on the bottom row, it will erase itself. So watch this, right? I select, I move up, it matches, that wipes. Now, how you attack is by filling up your meter with each of these characters. And when you get enough of that bar filled up, then you attack the enemy. But, as you can see, the same is true for the yōkai. So, matching multiple symbols of the enemy then gets your guys attacked, and yes, they can die. And if all 3 die, then it's stage over, game over, etc., etc. So, we're going to match some carrots here and that. And then there are combos, like things will fall, obviously, like any good match 3 puzzle game. And so you kind of progress in that direction. And so you can also move without matching, right? Important to set up further combos, but when you do that, the enemy gets a free hit on you for doing that. So obviously you want to get matches, but also avoid things like that and then having your opponent match as well. So it is a bit of risk reward on some of this stuff, and certainly in the first stage not very difficult, but things do ramp up. Now, should one character get knocked out, don't worry. If you build up their meter by matching their symbol, you can bring them back. But if all 3 are out at the same time, that's just game over, man. That's just rough stuff. So let's kind of get through this first stage here. We're almost at half on the enemy, so it's obviously, first stage is not that bad. But even that, my poor frog here is not doing great in his health endeavors. So we're going to hopefully build up his meter there a bit and not match any of the yōkai symbols, if at all possible. So we're almost there, but yeah, that was a bad move on my part. So there is thankfully no timer here for, well, I shouldn't say no timer. There are times when there could be a timer depending on the enemy you're facing, but generally you can kind of plan out your moves without the stress of like a Tetris or a Puyo Puyo type constantly falling objects to match up in a match 3 puzzle game. But let's hopefully finish off this foe. See, I don't want to do this one here. Even though it would be good to do that, I want to instead do this one over here. To get the bottom one wiped out, and then it combos, and then we win the first stage. Now, there aren't just 3 of your compatriots here. You can build a different squad. But to do that, we go over into team, and then I have unlocked 3 additional. You start with these top 3 here. So those are your deals there. And then you unlock the fox, you unlock the lucky cat there, and you unlock this bad boy. And of course, different abilities for different of the squad members. So, you can shield and cleanse all allies, blocking them damage. You can scratch the yōkai or heal the lowest health ally. Slice each yōkai for each yōkai. That's actually really useful. Let's do that. So, Kitsune, you're up. And then Leech's health is good to have for the daikon, the radish, if you will. Or let's try with the shield. So we'll go with these 3. And then confirm that team. And so we move past these stages up to stage number 7 with the Gyuki, and we'll see how things go, as it obviously will be a bit more difficult because video games. So, giant spider creature of sorts, let's try to do our match 3 business. And maybe not screw it up, but of course, no guarantees. So again, I don't want to move this one up here to match these two, because that wouldn't be good business. It would be poor. So what I can do is take the damage by moving the carrot this way, and then move down, and then make that match, which again gives us a combo. Matching more symbols at once does give you more of the meter for your specials. So important to know there on that. But yes, we keep on keeping on, and we hope for the best to knock out all of these poor yokai symbols and make sure they do not encroach upon our squad here, trying to wipe them out of their existence or whatever. I guess if we move up, take a hit, and then move over with that, because that'll... What? What? Since when? Okay, well, I learned a thing. Apparently, the spider does not need to match horizontally or diagonally. They can do it with a spider web. I didn't know. So again, different stages have different gimmicks for different yokai. I'm watching you, yokai. Pun intended. I mean, I guess he's almost done. So, as you can see, my man in the middle, my radish, has ceased to be. But if I match enough of the radishes, his meter will build, and he comes back to life. So it's not always game over on that if one of your compatriots bites the dust. But we're just about done here, so this spider should hopefully be thoroughly trounced shortly. There's not much health in his health bar left. What's it gonna take? What you gonna do? Match them deals there. Come on, man, that's 0. He should be at 0. What are we doing here? Well, I just barely made it through that and got a new Codex. Each of the yokai you beat has some information on what they are and what they do. If you back out to the main menu and head down to that Codex, that is where the game uses the crank, and you can crank through this scroll. I'm halfway done with this game. In order to get 100%, you want to beat every enemy with every member of the squad. Now, we have our different status effects, even more status effects, and then of course we have our squad here and those different details. And so that is Spirit Trail, out now on catalog, link down in the description, $5 on Attack Slug. Thanks for watching, more videos right here. I'll see you next time, and I'm out.